What's up, friends? So if you're new to my channel and you haven't been following along in the last 10 years of my travels, then I think you're going to enjoy this video as it's going to be kind of like a summary of what you missed. So this is a scratch map and we are going to scratch off all the countries that I've been to in the order that I first visited them by year. A journey through the history of Nadine, a trip through Scratch Memory Lane. Where am I going with this? Now, I have to give credit to Christiane, who actually did a video just like this that I've just stolen the idea from because I loved it and I wanted to do the same. So Backpacking Bananas, she did it first. I'm gonna leave links down to her original video if you wanna go check it out. It's really good, I'd recommend it. But we're gonna do mine now and I'm really excited. All right. Oh, it's a beaut. I've got a coin. Although, guys, it says for best results, use an eraser. Okay, they're uncracked. That's test scratch is done. Concluded. It's all really the same. My journey begins when I was born in Canada, believe it or not, right here in the beautiful province of British Columbia. So that's what we're gonna scratch first. Born. Now the first place I actually traveled to that was not in BC was in the US. So I went in 2002 in grade 9 on a band trip to Los Angeles. So we'll cross out California. And now we start where my actual travels begin in 2010 because I didn't start traveling until I was 22 and in 2010 after university and after I'd saved up enough money to go travel. Because believe it or not, my parents are actually not big travelers. I never grew up in a traveling family and my parents have never had the money to actually fund any of my travels. So I had to just save up and I got a working holiday in New Zealand. So New Zealand and the start of my travel vlogging career. So I was living in New Zealand for a few months now and the next place I went to was Singapore where my best friend Christy was currently doing a working abroad program. So I went and I stayed with her for a few days. After that, we took a quick little flight up to Malaysia to go watch the Formula One race. We also did a quick little trip over to Bali, Indonesia. I believe that island right there. I'm gonna have to make a decision on this map. It's hard for me to cross off an entire country, even though I've only visited one island. I think we're just gonna make a decision to scratch it all, even though I've not actually been there. I think it'll look cooler on the map, although we might change our mind when we get to some of the bigger countries. And I still don't know what to do about North America. Guess we're scratching. It's not gonna be perfect, but there's more scratch fun having. Whatever, it's a YouTube video. It's not a big deal. So after Bali, we headed over to China because my friend was actually studying Chinese. Her family is Chinese and why not visit China when in Asia? Eraser is very good for the big spaces. China. I then went back to New Zealand where I lived for several more months until I got an amazing opportunity to go to Jamaica, which was my first real YouTube sponsored travel campaign and I was so excited to go. In 2011, I actually went back to New Zealand. So again, in this scratch map, I'm only doing the first time I visited each country, but I've actually been back and forth to many of the countries on the list, especially in North America, all throughout the last 10 years. But I'm not gonna mention them each time I went back to it because that video would just be very, very long, really just way too long. Stop. So in 2011, I did my first South America trip and my first new country is Peru, where I actually got to go up to Cusco and visit my technically second wonder of the world, visit Machu Picchu. And then after that, I went to Argentina. We are now in 2012, and this is my biggest year of travel. It's a doozy. We're gonna scratch a lot this year. It was the year the world was supposed to end, but it didn't. I just traveled everywhere. I started the beginning of 2012 in Australia.
Have you been to Tasmania?
I've not been to all of Australia. I've definitely not been to Tasmania. Been to on the west coast, and I've been in the Northern Territory, but I've not been to WA or Southern Australia. So, but we're just gonna scratch it off the map because that's what we decided to do. So after Australia, we head over to Southeast Asia, and we're gonna do a lot of countries here. First one is Thailand, which is like beginner traveler backpacker headquarters. I then moved up into Laos, and then down into Cambodia. And then naturally, popped over to Vietnam. And I went all up the country in Vietnam. After my Southeast Asia trip, we popped on over to Europe. My first time in Europe, which I was so excited about because my parents are from Europe, all my family's European, and I had never been until right now. And we started off in Hungary. So that was our first place. Ooh, I'm gonna have to be very careful with the scratching here. Then I hopped on over to Austria, and then the Czech Republic. After that, flew on over to the UK. So we'll just scratch off England there. Took the train to France. Hung out on the beaches in Spain. Quick stop through Monaco. I went to several places all down the coast in Italy. Of course, I visited the Vatican City when in Italy. And then took the ferry over to Greece. Then it was into the Alps to one of my favorite countries, which I didn't know at the time, but now I do, Switzerland. We also did Liechtenstein. I think that's how you say it, Liechtenstein? Liechtenstein? Then it was up through Germany, through Belgium, and then the Netherlands. Next it was Denmark. Then I flew up to Norway. Got to visit the fjords, which are absolutely gorgeous. And over to Sweden. Svalbard. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that one there because I definitely did not go up there, but whatevs. We're having fun. That's all that matters. My last two stops in Europe were Croatia and Slovenia. And that was to visit family that I never knew that I had and just randomly discovered on Skype. Well, my mom discovered on Skype. Craziness. And to cap off this epic year of travel in 2012, I ended the year in Brazil. We spent like 3 weeks in Brazil going all over. This is so much scratching. I went to a lot of places in 2012. I spent the whole year traveling. So 2013 was really a year of not traveling, just kind of recuperating from the craziness of the previous year and saving up money because I had no money, so I had to work and just save up as much as I can to go back and travel. However, though, I did visit one amazing new country in 2013 that was worth it being my only new country I visited in 2013, and that was the Galapagos and Ecuador. It's now 2014 and the first new country I visited was the island of Fiji. I then spent 2 months in Tobago, which is part of Trinidad and Tobago, because I won a contest back in 2014, which thank you for everybody who voted me for that back then. But I spent 2 months there. So the little island of Tobago and Trinidad in the Caribbean. Next, it's Mexico. That's really bad. My first time in Mexico as a North American. Most people actually visited a bit sooner than I do because there's lots and lots of cheap flights from North America to get down to Mexico. I will report the eraser works great for getting the little like fine leftover details on the scratch map off. And last we have Scotland. which I ended up celebrating the new year and ringing in 2015, which we're now at. So the beginning of 2015 took me to my 6th continent, and that was Africa, and my first country there, South Africa. Might have accidentally scratched off Swaziland. I've not been there though. Now it's back up over to Europe for Turkey, which is still one of my favorite countries. I really enjoy Turkey. After that, I took a family trip with my dad and my sister to visit some of the places that he grew up in, which was in Slovakia. After that, it's back down to Central America, and we visited Belize, where I got to go scuba diving, and it was amazing. And Guatemala. Next up is 2016. We start off our year back down in South America. A couple places visited before, and one place I didn't, Chile. And that was part of my Patagonia trip where I went to Torres del Paine and I did the amazing hiking trip there. It's a really cool trip. And then on the way back, I had a stopover in Panama. Now the rest of 2016 was really filled with a lot of home time. It was again another saving up year and just kind of planning and prepping and giving you guys tips and advice videos. That's where I filmed the majority of my tips and advice videos in that year, and I really just was kind of feeling a little bit tired from all the travel in the previous year, and again I just wanted like a chill year. So 2017 was the year that Matt came on full time, and we started traveling together. So we did all of our travels together, and we went to a bunch of places in the second half, or like mid second half of 2017, but the beginning of 2017 was a bit quiet. And a lot of the places we've been to, I'd actually been to before. They were first times for Matt, but there were a couple that we haven't scratched off yet. Russia! Oh dear, we've got a lot of scratching to do in this. Oh no, how am I gonna do this? Went to Russia, Moscow, St. Petersburg, nothing over here, but let's just, how we wanna scratch this. I don't know. What if I did like line? Ugh. Do we have like a big fat eraser? I'm destroying this eraser. This map is not meant for people who went to Russia. So we got most of Russia scratched. I think we're just gonna leave it at that because... And then the last country I went to after that was Finland. A lot smaller than Russia. 2018, and we started off at one of my bucket list countries that I've always wanted to go to, India, where I got to experience Holi and travel in various parts of the country and eat a whole bunch of delicious Indian food, and it was great. And the next new country, the last new country really, in 2018, Antigua. But it's scratched off. You couldn't tell, but it's scratched off there. Now the rest of 2018, we spent exploring a whole lot of North America. And 2019, we did a bunch of the US in 2019, and I've done a bunch of Canada in 2018. Realistically, I've done a bunch of North America scattered throughout all of these years. So what I'm gonna do right now, because after the Russia fiasco of scratching all that off, I can't just leave North America empty like this. I'm gonna scratch off each of the individual states because North America is kind of broken up into like states and provinces. I'm just gonna scratch the individual states and provinces that I've been to in the last decade. So this is in no particular order, in no particular year, because it would just get a lot messier. Ha! There we go. So that's my Canada. I've been to most of the provinces. There's 5 provinces I haven't been to. It's not too bad, considering 2 of them are the northern ones and they're a little bit harder to get to.
Those are territories.
So, you know, we will finish all of Canada soon. But now, US. All right. Oh, hand cramp. Ooh. Okay, so I've been to 27 states. As you can see, several bits and chunks of the US. I still have to visit all of the middle of the US, which I have not done yet. So that's this big, it's really just like this strip here. Just gotta do a road trip all through there. And then I've done all of North America. Actually, I've tried to do a lot of North America because I'm a big advocate of traveling in your own backyard. I hate to have this whole map scratched off and then not have North America scratched off as well. So I'm feeling pretty good about my North America status at the moment. 2019, the end is getting closer. I only have 2 new countries this year because again, we did a lot of that. So first new country is South Korea. And the second one is the Bahamas. That's all I got for 2019. Ooh, I was gonna be like, and now it's 2020. And where are we heading to? Should I do Kenya and Tanzania? Because by the time we're filming this, we'll be there. Or why this premieres.
No, don't scratch
No, I want to.
It's breaking the rules.
No, it's not. But that is every place that I've been to in the world. As you can see, it's a lot, but it's also actually not a lot. I've never had like the crazy country travel goal, but I feel like I've done quite a lot of the world so far in this last 10 years, and I can't wait to see where the next 10 years takes me. Now I want to know what your guys' is. What's your number? What's your country number? How many have you been to? Let me know down below in the comments, or just put together your own little scratch map list, because I'm curious to see where you've all been. Of course, it's not a competition or anything. Like, it's just a number. Don't feel ashamed if you haven't been to a lot of places, or if you've been to a lot. I'm curious. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already, and we'll see you guys in Africa. Scratch map done. But really though, this scratch map is not meant for somebody who's been to Antarctica. I feel sorry if you've been to Antarctica and you have to attempt to scratch that. Although you would have been to Antarctica, so I don't feel that sorry for you.